Hi guys, welcome back to my tutorials, and today what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to make these coin holders, and they are super simple. There is two hoopings, but they are so quick if all you're going to do is not add any design to it. So this one here is made of about a thickness of about an upholstery vinyl, so it's not too thick, it's not a marine vinyl, and this is by far my favorite feeling one. So what you do is you've got coins in this side, and then when it's folded, nothing falls out. See, people have been asking, so no, nothing will fall out. So what happens is you just need to put your finger in this little area here, and then give it a little tip, and your money will catch pretty much in that little area and go in here. So you've got that, and then you just tip it back, fold it up. There's the back, front. So this one does not have a spot for the eyelet. With this version, I really did need to put a spot for the eyelet because you need enough money, you need enough space here for your money to go through. And this one is made of a marine vinyl, and it is quite thick, so it depends on the thickness that you want it to be. Then we have this one, and we have the smaller ones, which are quite tiny, and I think that they will only hold very little bit in them. They'll hold pretty much quarters, so as you can see there. We'll tuck that back in, give this one a little bit of a shake so we can show you. Same thing. And then we open, and voila, we have our money. So this one here, the smaller version, is the one that we're going to be doing today. So it has the eyelet portion at the top, and then it has the snap. All right, so let's get going on this. I hope you enjoy. The things that we are going to need for this project are very simple. You need 2 pieces of vinyl, one for the front, one for the back. If you're using a thinner style of vinyl, I suggest using a backing on the side with the hole. And for that, I am using a craft fabric called, brand name is called Ollie Fun. It's just a craft style fabric. And then a piece of felt for the other side. So the first thing we have to do is go and run the placement stitch. So here we have the placement stitch, and with the placement stitch you do have the window portion to show you where to put the material if you have fussy cut it. So the first thing that we have to do on this one is we need to put the main material on there, and with this particular design you don't need any extra material. This is really just the size of the material you need, so unless you have a pattern material. Then you would just cover this up exactly, tape it into place, and if you have a thinner material like I do, I really do suggest flipping it over to the back side and adding that extra little piece of basically like a stabilizing fabric. So this is the Ollie Fun fabric. All right, so taking this back to the machine now, and we are going to run the material outline stitch that's going to hold these together. All right, so what we have here is the material tack down stitch, which is the outline, and the next thing that we need to do is put it back into the machine, and we're going to be doing the window stitching, which is the inside portion of the window used as a cut line, and then the outside portion of the window, which is the window finish stitching. Alright, so you can see here we have the inside window stitching and the detailed bean stitching. And there's just one more stitch that I have put in here that we can do. It's an optional stitch, and it's just to show the placement for the snap. The first hooping is now done. So we have the outline, the inside cut line, we have the triple bean window stitching, and then we have that little snap placement stitch. So what we have to do right now is, I suggest using an X-Acto knife. I just find it the easiest. If you prefer to cut, you can try that. So what we need to do is we need to cut out the center stitching here, and then it's best to go just on the outside of the stitching in that little border area. So that piece is out, and then you just discard that piece. We don't need that. All right, so the window is cut out. If you have a material that has a bit of fraying in there, something that you can do is, very carefully, you can put a lighter in and then just get the little fraying piece of material. See, there's one right there. I think you can see that. So I can just do that, and then I'll be able to get rid of it. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is we have to take it out of the hoop and then cut around this outline stitching. Cut very close, but try and keep it intact so it keeps the front and back together. Now that we have this piece cut out, we can set this one aside. There's the front, there's the back, and we can put that aside until we need it in hoop number 2, which we are going to start now. So for hoop number 2, it is a very easy part of the process. There are only 3 color stops. The first color stop will be the placement stitching. The second one will be the material tack down, and the third is to put the hoop number 1 and 2 pieces together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go run the placement stitch, and then after that I'm going to be putting on the front material. Then I'll be taping that in place, turning it over, and then I'll be putting on the felt for the back of the material. And after that is when the material tack down will come. So I am going to go ahead and run those couple of stitches. So now hoop number 2 is almost finished. We did the placement stitch, and then we put the material on, and then we ran this outline material tack down stitch, which is the same one that I did on here in the blue color. So the next step is to take this hoop, turn it to the back side, and if you're doing the eyelet version, there is a spot here to be aware of. So you take the piece from hoop 1 and you place it right side face up. So the stabilizer and ollie on mine is face down, and you line it up to that exact same outline stitching. So you line those 2 up together, and then you tape it into place. Just be careful not to tape in the stitching area. So once it is all taped down, I'll see if I can bring the size better. There we go. So you can see that those all match up. Then we take this back to the machine, put it in the machine, and then we're going to be running the final triple bean stitching that's going to hold the two of these together. The stitching is now completed. See how quick that hooping was? So we have this here, and I also did the placement stitch for the snap, or for the eyelet, sorry. And we have the outline stitching, and then you have the inside stitching, which is the finishing triple bean stitching. So there's the back. So the next thing that we have to do is cut it out. And when you are cutting it out, you do cut between these two stitchings. So the stitching that you want to keep is the one on the inside. All right, so now we have it all cut out. You can see that there is the pocket there for the change to go. That's the front side. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to take it and we need to add the snap and the eyelet. We have moved over to my snap table. So the next thing that we have to do is to add the snaps. So when you're adding the snap that needs to be on the inside of the window, you don't go all the way through because you want the lip. So you need to cut the hole just on the one side. And then, so we have the hole there. When you're adding something to the vinyl that's fairly thin, what I usually do is I take a scrap piece of my material and I just cut a hole in it, see, and then I just put it on so it has an extra little bit for support. So you just go ahead and you put that in. So we have the one, and then with that you can mark the placement of the one on this side, and this one will go all the way through. There we go. See? All right, so the next thing is I'm going to add the eyelid. Now, if you have not added eyelets yet, they are so simple, so simple to add. Don't be afraid of eyelets. So the best eyelets that I suggest are the ones that have the eyelet portion, and they will also have a back washer portion. So you have the eyelet piece with the little post, and then you have the washer. So with that, you need this part from the kit, and you need the hole punch from the kit. So just find where you want it to go. Simple as that. Give yourself a hole. Then you take the eyelet, and since this is the front, I want the colored part on the front, so you stick that through. Now these eyelets might be a little short because you should see some coming through the back, but my material is just a little thick. However, it should work. So then you put it onto the little post there. Okay. And make sure that your little post is coming up through. And the next thing is to take that little washer piece, put it on top, and I like to make sure that my post is stuck up around before. So you kind of just push it around, holding it down. And then you've got this piece that slides over top of the post and then over top of the eyelet portion. And that is all there is to an eyelet. So now it's done. Nice little coin carrier. Now this is the smaller size, so the smaller size isn't very big, and it'll carry, you know, maybe guitar picks or a little bit of quarters if you want to carry that in there. So I really hope that you guys like the project. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet already, please, 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 please subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when I have more tutorials available. All right, thank you, and have a wonderful day, guys.